All right, so then we lost a legend not too long ago. I think it was last week. Sean Connery had died, 90 years old. Yeah, man, was a legend.
Most definitely. I definitely grew up watching a lot of his movies. James Bond, we all know for sure, so that'd be the first place you would start when you heard his name.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Man, because I didn't grow up on James. I didn't grow up on Sean Connery James Bond. I grew up on Pierce Brosnan James Bond.
Most definitely.
Thank you, Mr.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Yeah, Sean Connery is my mama's. It's her generation.
Exactly.
She always talk about, oh, he was the best one.
Mr. Smith and Wesson. And you've had your six.
I grew up on Pierce Brosnan, then came Daniel Craig, and ever since then, James Bond been shooting off. But I saw him in there's a lot of movies I've seen him in. Entrapment. He was in Legal Extraordinary Gentleman. He was in The Rock with I think Nicolas Cage.
Yep, which was a great movie.
Yeah, and then I think that's pretty much all the movies I've seen him in.
You've seen Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah. He was his father. He was the father.
I came here to save you. Oh, yeah? And who's gonna come to save you, Junior? I told you. Don't call me Junior.
Most definitely pulled that off. It's another good movie. Good set.
Yeah. So just gotta give him respect. But 90 years old.
He did. I don't know if you've seen Finding Forrester. You remember that movie?
Nah.
You ever seen Finding Forrester? He played a writer who was a shed-in. He wrote one book, got paid, and then he ended up being a shed-in. And a kid from a urban area, air quotes, was outside hooping, dared to go into the house. He went in the house, lost his book bag, and then they became friends throughout the movie. It was a really good movie. It showed a black kid going from a public school setting to a private school setting because of his writing skills, which Sean Connery was a professional writer, helped him get better at it. So the movie was pretty good. He got a couple more joints that I'm gonna have to check out.
He got to, man. Sean Connery got one of them iconic voices. He got one. He up there with, Morgan Freeman. Who else that you could recognize?
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, most definitely. Because he talked like, yes, oh, yes.
Start typing that. Sometimes a simple rhythm of typing gets us from page 1 to page 2. And when you begin to feel your own words, start typing them.
Right.
So you definitely can recognize his voice by something. So
I noticed Sean has been 75 years old as far as I'm concerned for the last 100 years.
Hell yeah, when I was out, his ass was old. Yeah, he was older than Indiana Jones.
Right.
So he been around for a minute. So yeah.
R.I.P. to a legend.
Man, but to me, Pierce Brosnan's still the best James Bond. But
while I went back and watched the original ones with Roger Moore and Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan is still my James Bond personally.
The world is not enough.
Exactly. And tomorrow.
Yeah, Never Dies.
Yeah.
Which one was Halle Berry? Tomorrow Never Dies.
Halle Berry.
No, she was not. She was his last one.
Right. Which
was
wasn't bad. The last one he pierced in wasn't bad.
The last one, that was when green screens and CGI was coming into play with Hollywood. And they wanted to fuck with it. Like that time he was on a surfboard, he had the parachute, and he was on the waves.
Yes. Hold on, that's the one where the motorcycle was it had a bike that changed to so they was floating on the water, bro.
Yes.
Oh Lord. I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was a little over the top.
But it had, you can see, that movie, it eased itself into CGI, and the laser scene was like a good kind of spy reference.
Yeah.
You always got every cartoon or whatever spy movie always had one of them tropes, and that trope with the laser is definitely something that James Bond.
They had to have an iconic bad guy, so they put diamonds in his face.
Hell yeah, I do remember that.
I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna survive that.
They
but
was
we'll
using
take that.
every spy trope in that fucking movie. But all right.